Hello my dear students, I welcome you to your favorite channel NEET World. This is Vasavi Ma'am, your biology educator for Foundation and CBSE. Students, we have done with the 4 different types of tissues like epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and the next fluid connective tissue. So, coming towards the today's particular session, in the today's session we are going to discuss about the nervous tissue. It is very easy to understand. So, I request each and every student to watch this session until the end. Yes. So, coming towards the nervous tissue. So, first discussing about the nervous tissue, let us discuss about its location. So, nervous tissue is going to include 3 main different types of areas. Okay. Nervous tissue is going to include brain, spinal cord and the next nerves. Okay. The nervous tissue is going to include brain, spinal cord and the next nerves. So, the brain, yes. So, the brain is the main center where different types of actions, okay, different types of decisions, different types of actions are going to be made. Okay. The brain is going to take the decisions to perform some activities. Okay, and all those actions and all those decisions which are going to be made in the brain, all the actions are going to be regulated by the spinal cord. And the next, the neurons are going to be involved. The neurons are involved in carrying the impulses away and towards the body. Okay, this is how actually the message and everything is going to be transformed from the brain to the spinal cord. So, let us understand it with an example. Yes. So, now students, yes. So, let us imagine and let us take an example of our natural life. So, if there is a heart vessel, okay, so when we touch the heart vessel, then immediately our brain is going to, that message is sent to the brain that there is a very burning sensation to our hand. When we touch the heart vessel, we feel the burning sensation and our brain is going to analyze that message and the brain is going to send a message that to remove the hand from the heart vessel. Are you clear with the concept? See, simple, when we touch the heart vessel, there is a burning sensation to our hands and immediately our brain is going to give the message to us that to remove the hands from the heart vessel. So, all these activities just gaining, okay, just receiving the impulse, that is nothing but receiving the burning sensation and then next receiving the message to remove the hand from that particular vessel, it is going to be regulated by the spinal cord. First, the brain will analyze that particular vessel is very hot and the next through the spinal cord it is going to show the regulation. Okay, through the spinal cord the message will pass and the next the neurons are going to show the function of impulse. The neurons will carry the information and the next immediately we are going to remove our hand from the heart vessel. This is how actually the transformation and the nerve impulse is going to be taken place. Okay. So, here the neurons are involved in transferring the impulses. Okay. Neurons are involved in performing the functions of impulse. Okay. How the impulse is actually going to be generated and how actually the structure of the nerves is going to look, we are going to study now. Yes, you can see here. So, neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. Okay. See here. Yes. So, students, imagine it as a hand or a leg and here we have a many number of fibers. Okay. Here many number of network like web like fibers are going to be present. These are called as nerve fibers. I am marking it with the red color. The red colored structure whatever I am drawing, it is the nerve fiber. And when I observe these particular nerve fiber under the microscope, I am going to find some single small microscopic units in this way. These are the small units, these are small microscopic units which are actually present inside this nerve fiber. Okay. And these particular microscopic units are called as neurons. These are called as neurons. Clear? So, the neurons are the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue. Okay. Inside the nerve fibers there are some microscopic many arrangement of some multiple arrangements of microscopic units called as these particular units called as the neurons and neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous tissue. Okay. So, now we will look into this particular single neuron structure. Okay. We are going to learn about the single neuron structure. We are going to see the diagrammatic view of it. Yes. So now let's look into this, students. This is very damn sure important diagram which we can expect in the exam. Okay. So if you are not going to get this particular type of question in the 9th standard, you are going to learn it in the 10th standard and the next 11th and 12th standard. Okay. This is a very most important topic which we can expect it for the higher studies also. Yes. So now look into this. Yes. So the neuron is going to contain a single nucleus here. This is the nucleus, and inside this it is called as the cytoplasm. Okay, it is filled with the cytoplasm, and this portion is called as cyton or soma. Okay, it is also called as the cyton or it is called as the soma, or else sometimes it is called as cell body. Yes. So this central portion is called as cyton. It is filled with the cytoplasm and it contains the single nucleus, and from the cyton there are some many branches. There are some many different types of small branches are going to be arised. Can you see this? Okay. So there are some many tiny branches which are going to be arised from the region of the cyton. So that branches are called as dendrites. Okay. Can you see the dendrites? The dendrites are always going to be originate from the cyton. Okay. Yes, and it is going to contain the nucleus, and here we can find some granular like structures. Those are called as Nissl granules. Nissl granules. Okay. Nissl granules are the structures. These are the granular like structures which are present in the cytoplasm of the neuron. Okay. It means simply they are going to be present inside the cyton, and from the region of the cyton there is a long elongated body. Okay. There is a long continuous elongated structure which is going to be arised. Okay. This is called as axon. Okay. It is called as the axon. Can you see this? This complete portion, okay, the long elongated structure which is going to be arised continuously from the region of the cyton is called as the axon, and the next the axon is going to be terminated. The axon is going to end at the particular point called as axon terminal. Okay, the region, the continuation of the axon is going to end at the particular point that is called as axon terminal, and this axon terminal is going to contain some bulb like structures. Can you see these bulb like structures? Okay. So in simpler way it is going to appear like this. Okay. Yes. So the bulb like structures which are going to be present at this particular point, these are called as synaptic knobs. Synaptic knobs. Okay. Yes. Synaptic knob is a terminal bulb like portion which is attached to this particular axon, students. Clear with these concepts? So now here in between these we can find some gaps. Okay. So in between the continuation process of the axon there are some minute gaps. Those are called as nodes of Ranvier. Okay. Nodes of Ranvier is a minute space or else a gap in between this continuation elongated process of the axon, and here these are the axon terminal. It is the axon terminal which is going to end. Okay. This is called as the where all this particular neuron is going to end. This is it is going to end at the point called as the axon terminal. So now if you see this all structure, it is going to look actually like a tree, right? So it is actually going to look like a tree. See, these are for the tree also we are going to see the branches. Clear? See, let me clear this, by that you will get the clear idea. See, when we look into the tree, it actually looks in a similar way. So same the neuron is also going to resemble a structure which is similar to the tree. Okay, how the branches and trunk is going to be present inside the tree. Here also we can find some branches, but these branches are called as dendrites, and here this is a region called as a cyton where we can find the nucleus. Okay. So same how the tree is going to contain the trunk, same this neuron is also going to contain some elongated portion, elongated continuous portion called as the axon, and in between the axon we can find some minute gaps, those are called as the nodes of Ranvier. Okay, here the cells which are present here, these are called as the Schwann cells, and this axon is going to end at a particular point called as axon terminal with the bulb like structures called as synaptic knobs. Synaptic knobs. Okay. So, now from here we can expect the questions. So, at this synaptic knob, yes. So, at this synaptic knob, one more, okay, at this particular synaptic knob, the dendrites of other neurons are going to be attached. So, how means, see look into this, students. Yes. See, at this particular synaptic knob, there is an arrangement and there is an attachment of the dendrites of the other neuron. See, imagine if this is another neuron. Yes, I am drawing it with the red color. See, this is another neuron. Okay. Okay, and this will be the axon and this will be the synaptic knobs again. Okay. So, the arrangement of, okay, so the arrangement of the dendrites, the arrangement of one dendrite with the another synaptic knob of the another neuron. Okay. So, here we can find the junction between the dendrites of one neuron to the axons of the axon terminal of the another neuron. It is called as synaptic junction. Synapse, simply we can call it as a synapse. Okay. So, the synapse is the junction where the dendrites of one neuron are going to meet to the axon terminals of the another neuron. Okay. So, the main function of the synapse is to generate the electrical impulses. Okay. Synapse is going to regulate and it is going to generate the electrical impulses. Okay. So, now these impulses, this synapse is going to carry the impulses away from the cyton. Okay, from the cyton it is going to carry the impulses in this way, and again from here it is going to carry the impulses again, and again for this axon terminal another dendrites of another neurons are going to be attached and they are going to form a gap there called as the synapse. It is called as the electrical junction or else synaptic junction. Clear with the concepts, clear with the neuron. So, now we will look into the NCERT lines, by that you are going to get the clear idea. Yes. So, look into this. See, location. Okay, the location of the nerve is, it is present in the brain, spinal cord and the next nerves. Okay, now when it comes to the labeling parts, it contains cyton, which is also called as cell body, it is also called as soma. Okay, it is a central portion which contains the cytoplasm, nucleus and Nissl granules. Just now we have discussed about it. The parts whatever we have discussed, those NCERT lines are displayed here, students. And it contains the dendrons, these are also called as dendrites. So, what are dendrites? These are the short branching like projections which are going to be arised from the region of the cyton. And the next axon is the single long lengthy elongated process which is going to be arised from the region of the cyton, and the next it is going to terminate at the particular point that is called as the axon terminal, and here is the information how actually the synapse is going to be present. See, these are the, this is the structure of one neuron. It is the structure of one neuron. These all are the dendrites, and here it is the process, long cylindrical process called as axon, and here these all are the synaptic terminals. Sorry, these all are the axon terminals. Okay, and to these axon terminal, to the synaptic knobs of the axon terminal, the dendrites of another neurons are going to be connected and they will form a gap called as synapse. So, this synapse is an junction. Synapse is a particular junction where the electrical impulses are going to be progressed. Okay. So, here see here presynaptic knob and postsynaptic knob. So, from here electrical impulses are going to be released and they are going to carry the impulses away from the region of the cyton. This is how actually the nerve impulses are going to be conducted, and we have seen with the natural example by taking the example of heart vessel. When we touch the heart vessel, our brain is going to send a message. It is going to analyze that vessel is hot. So please remove a hand. Okay, this is going to, that message is going to be sent by the brain, and the next the action is going to be regulated by the spinal cord, and the next the nerves are going to receive the impulses from that from our hand, and they are going to carry it towards the brain through the spinal cord. This is how actually the synaptic impulses, that is nothing but how the nerve impulse is going to be generated in our body. Okay, this is a very most important. So what is synapse? Okay, now we are going to learn in the NCERT exemplar questions. See, these all are the most important NCERT exemplar questions from the animal tissues. Okay, these all are the NCERT exemplar questions of animal tissues. If we look into the first important question, okay, this is from the NCERT only. Okay, what are the functions of areolar tissues? Okay, what are the functions of areolar tissue, students? It is called as a filler tissue, and it is called as packaging tissue. Why we are going to call it as? Because it is going to fill the space inside the internal organs of our body, and it is going to repair the damaged parts. Okay, hence it is called as repairing, yes, it is called as the packaging tissue, and it will repair the tissues which are got damaged. And next, the second answer, the second question is, name the kind of tissue which forms the inner lining of the blood vessel. As I said it in the previous session itself, it is the squamous, simple squamous epithelial cells. Okay, why the simple squamous epithelial cells are present inside the blood vessels? Okay, so why these are actually going to be present inside the blood vessels? Because inside the blood vessels there is no complex functions is going to be taken place. Okay, simply the exchange of materials is going to be occurred. That is the reason it is going to be arranged only with the help of a simple squamous epithelial cells. And next, what does a neuron look like? Yes, it is not what, how. Yes, how does actually a neuron look like? See here, just now we have taken an example of a tree. Same, it is going to resemble to the structure of a tree. How we are going to observe the branches, trunk and roots to the tree? Same, in that way only we have studied the similar structure of the neuron, which is going to contain the branching like structures. Okay, those are called as dendrites, and trunk like structure in the neuron it is called as axon, and the root like structures of the tree in the neuron it is called as the axon terminals. So these neuron is going to look like a thread like or tree like structure with a palm leaf shaped structure at the one end. Yes. So now next, coming towards the another three most important questions. Which tissue stores the fat globules? It is absolutely a direct question. We can expect this particular question in the MCQs. Okay, but when it comes to the one marker question, if you write this particular tissue name, it will be more than enough. Okay, adipose tissue is a particular tissue which is going to store the fat, and it is a it is going to contain particular cells which are globular in shape. And next, name three different types of blood cells and give their functions. Okay, see, as we have discussed, the blood cells are important along with its functions. Okay, how many types of blood cells are going to be present? RBC, WBC, and the next one is blood platelets. Okay, what is the function of the RBCs? To transport the materials and to transport the nutrients, and then next to send out the waste materials. Look into this. Erythrocytes, RBCs are also called as erythrocytes. They are meant for transport of gases, that is nothing but they are meant for exchange for oxygen and they are carbon dioxide. Okay, that RBCs are going to combine with the hemoglobin and they are going to form the oxyhemoglobin. They are going to transport the oxygen. Hemoglobin is going to transport the oxygen, whereas coming towards the WBCs, these are also called as leukocytes. They are going to act like a defense mechanism. Okay, and it is going to contain some different types of things like heparin, histamine, and the next antibodies. Heparin is an anticoagulant which is going to help in blood clot formation, and histamine yes, and the next histamine is a thing, okay, which is going, histamine is a cell which is going to cause inflammation in the blood vessels, and the next antihistamines are the structures which are going to be function towards those allergic responses. And here is the antibodies. Antibodies are the things, okay, antibodies are going to be secreted by the lymphocytes, that is nothing but WBCs, and these lymphocytes are going to, these lymphocytes, antibodies are also called as the immunocytes, which are going to fight against towards the antigens. Okay, next coming towards the platelets. Platelets are also called as thrombocytes, which are involved in Okay, the thrombocytes are going to become activated when there is an injury towards the particular organ or else any towards the particular blood vessel. Okay, when there is an injury, to stop that particular blood flow, the activated thrombocytes will come and accumulate at the injured area, so that the blood flow is going to be prevented. And next, coming towards the one more question, what is synapse? Explain. Yes, synapse is a junction between the terminal part of one axon, okay, and the dendrite of the another neuron. Okay, it is just nothing but, imagine if this is a axon terminal, and to this axon terminal the dendrites of another neurons are going to be combined. Okay, this particular junction, that is called as synapse. We are calling it as a synaptic junction or else electrical junction, because why means at that particular junction only the electrical impulses are going to be carried away and towards the nerves. Okay, these synapses are mainly involved in the transmission of impulses from one neuron to the another neuron. Okay, give 3 features of cardiac muscle. This also we have discussed in detail in the live session. You can happily go through that particular live session and you can watch to make your concept clear about the muscle tissues. We have done the one shot muscle tissues session. So, please I request each and every student to watch that live session. Yes, 3 features of cardiac muscle. The 3 features of cardiac muscle are given below. What are they? These are all the NCERT line students. So, please focus on it. See, cardiac muscle shows the characteristics of both striated and unstriated, and it is involved in contraction and relaxation. Yes, intercalated discs are present in cardiac muscle fiber. What are those intercalated discs? Okay, in between the one cardiac muscle and another cardiac muscle, there is a connecting light or dark band like structures, that we are calling it as the intercalated disc. You can write this point, or else it is one of the extra information apart from your NCERT, but it is very much important. And next, the muscle cells shows the rhythmic contraction, and the next they not get fatigued. Okay, see, cardiac muscle is actually involved in contraction and relaxation. Okay, it is going to be work continuously. Okay, that is the reason the heart is going to pump the blood throughout our body. It means it is not going to show the fatigue in nature. It means that particular cardiac muscle is not going to take rest anymore. It will work continuously and it will perform the functions continuously to keep us alive. That is only the main function of the cardiac muscle. Okay, clear with all the NCERT exemplar questions? These all are very much important. These all questions are I have displayed here, I have analyzed and I have displayed these all the questions. So, I request each and every student to memorize all these answers, students. Okay, clear with the nervous tissue? It is very simple and easy to understand, and the diagram of the neuron is very much important. It is the structural and functional unit of the nervous tissue. We can expect that particular diagram. From that only we can expect the diagram based question also. Okay, so please like, share and subscribe to NEET World. In the next upcoming session, we are going to discuss about the case study questions, and we are going to learn about the level 1 type of MCQs from the chapter animal tissues. Thank you.